get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these hands tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, baby. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music. Drop me a 1 or a 2 in the chat room, folks, if you can hear me. I see DDS down in there. Hey, Roxy, always looking lovely as always. How y'all doing? How you doing? Again, give me a 1 or a 2 if you folks can hear me down in the listening lounge there. If you don't mind, we're going to get this started right away. As soon as I see a 1 or a 2, there we go. You folks can hear me loud and clear. Y'all see the title, The Disrespect. The disrespect. It knows no bounds when it comes to us black folks. Now, a lot of folks would consider me as one of the elders just based on my age. So I'm going to speak to some of you folks as if I am the elder. Now, first thing we're going to cover is Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and a couple of these other clowns performing at the Donald Trump, whatever you call it, inauguration. I don't know how many of you folks watched that. I know I didn't, wasn't interested, didn't give 2 fucks about it. But before I get into that, I was over listening to another stream and I heard a young man up there by the name of Aunt T saying that Michelle Obama was absolutely wrong for not attending Donald Trump's inauguration. My question to any of y'all, and let me drop this link in here, right? Let me drop the link so somebody can come up and give me an answer for this, if you dare. How was Michelle Obama being disrespectful by not showing up to an inauguration of a man that's disrespected her, disrespected her family, disrespected her children, all across the board? I'm going to ask all those fellas, all those women that say that she was wrong First of all, did you say Mike Pence was wrong when his wife didn't show up? Did you say that Donald Trump was wrong when he didn't show up for Biden's inauguration? Why do we try to hold our folks to a higher standard than we hold them? Don't get it. Don't understand it. I don't see it's about ego on this one, Sly. I disagree with the ego thing. I do believe that everyone has a choice of what they will and what they won't do. And in this case, Michelle Obama made a choice of someone that was disrespecting her throughout the 8 years that her husband was in office. She decided to say, you know what? It ain't about pride. I just don't like the guy. I'm not going. I heard Aunt T saying that if Barack Obama went to the inauguration by himself, when he came back home, his house should be empty, meaning get his wife, get him out, get out. I see what you're saying, Sly, political protocol, but President Obama showed up. To me, that's protocol enough. He showed up. And it's not mandatory that former presidents show up. It is more of a tradition, more of a, okay. Welcome to the show there, DDS. How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm living. I can't complain too much. What's your thoughts on this?
Brother, you know, I think people are reading way too much into this. I mean, she has, if she doesn't want to go, then she doesn't want to go.
I agree.
Like, I don't see why people are trying to make this bigger, you know what I'm saying, really than what it is, other than folks just trying to find something to talk about. I mean, it doesn't make a difference if she would have went or not. Like, it wouldn't have made a difference. You know what I mean? Really, like, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, her and him have been together for how long? Like over 20, 25 years?
Quite some time. Right.
Right. So she just didn't want to go. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, that's all that it is. It's nothing more than that. It's nothing more than that.
I agree with you, DDS, on this particular instance. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you because, again, like I said, everybody has a choice to do what they want to do. You know, in this case, she's a grown woman. If she didn't want to go to inauguration, she didn't have to go. There's nothing that's written in stone to say, yeah, you got to go. Nothing. I'm sure there was other people of prominence that did not show up at this inauguration as well.
I would have thought, you know what, I would totally agree with you. And the fact that people are out here trying to turn this into something that it's really not, and there's no, like, you know, there's no other proof that she's getting ready to leave him or that the relationship is on the rocks or anything of that nature. People, you know, need to go find a life and live their own lives. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to speak something into existence. I mean, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. And, you know what I'm saying? For people to be thinking that this is indicative of a relationship issue. No, it's not. I mean, people have agency. Yeah, she has agency. She's a grown woman. They've been married, and she just didn't feel like going. So if she didn't want to go, then she didn't have to go. And brother, this is why a lot of people are not going to get married and are not going to be together, because it's like, listen, it's not a, like, you know, you do everything that I say, you know, or else. No, you know what I mean? Like, it's a, you know what I'm saying, like a, you know, a give and take. You know what I mean?
And I do believe it has to be in a marriage. It has to be a give and take. I do believe that it has to. I think that's one of the most paramount things that you have in a marriage. The husband can't be right all the time, and the wife can't be right all the time. I'm sure that the Obamas sat down and had a discussion about the optics of whether she should or shouldn't show up. But I don't think that was a very long conversation. I mean, all you had to do, but this is not revisionist history. This is a man, Donald Trump, that disrespected her family. Why would anyone expect her to show up? That is the whole question. So when I hear people saying there must be something wrong with the Obama camp, why is there something wrong?
Right. That, you know what, that's what I would like to know also as well. What other evidence do you have you know, that there's something wrong. Like, I mean,
Right.
all that is her just not wanting to go. She didn't like that man. Like, she probably
Would you
just
blame
did
her?
not like that man.
Right. Do you
And
blame her?
like,
Hey,
hell no, I'm not going. And I'm
right.
like, okay, you know, I mean,
Would
you
you
know,
do you blame her for not liking Trump? The
I
things that
don't
she said.
blame her not one
No,
iota.
not one
Not
little
one
bit. The things she
iota.
said about her. Let's think about this. The birtherism, that's one thing. But literally, you had enough sycophants out there at Trump that tried to convince other folks that this was not a woman, that she did not have children. You know how many people would have had to have been on this conspiracy, from the mama, cousins, the friends, the aunties, the uncles, to everybody, to say that Michelle Obama was not a woman. And you had other people, prominent people, running with this, running with this narrative, saying, "Look,
Exactly.
because her pants was hanging a certain way. Oh, look, she's got a tallywhacker." Come on, man. Have you ever seen gabardine on a woman? Have you ever seen? I guess some women wear silk pants or polyester pants or whatever. Have you seen how it fits on some people? Sometimes it's got ruffles. Especially if it's not, if it's loose fitting, it's got ruffles. So
Yes,
because somebody saw ruffles on her trouser pants or on her pants, all of a sudden she got a tallywhacker.
I mean, after somebody says something of that nature about you, I mean, of course, you know what I'm saying, that you would feel some kind of way. And that's not the only thing, brother. I remember they were trying to say that the man wasn't even a U.S. citizen. That the man was like born somewhere else. You know, like they were trying to say all of that. They said a lot of negative things coming out of that camp about Obama. So I don't blame her for not wanting to go.
Not in the least bit.
If she don't want to go, she don't have to go. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know.
I don't blame her, not one iota. I don't. I knew this was going to be kind of like a short conversation. I was hoping that the person that was over on that channel that I was listening to, I would hope that he would show up and kind of defend his position on what he was saying. But Aunt T, if you're in the clouds, drop on down, brother, man. I'd like to have a conversation with you. You're actually the reason why I sparked up this live today. Let me say hello to some good folks down there. Hey, Candy Cane Lane. Hey there, Mel. Hey, Char Willie. What's up, Rogue? Super Sly 75. Man, it's good to see you in the house, bro. Love what you're doing over there, good brother. Keep up the good work. We need more champions like you in the streets, in these YouTube streets, I should say. But the next thing I want to get to there, DDS. Let me ask you, what do you think about the rappers that did the concert for the Trump administration coming in? What do you think about that?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't have really a lot to really say about that, really. I mean, we've noticed that, you know, artists, you know, come up and do this, you know, regularly for people who have been inaugurated and for celebrations and things of that nature. I don't really have like an opinion one way or the other on that. I mean, what has been being said out here about that?
Well, one thing for sure is me. I totally disagree with those men performing for this president, not for any other president. They can do what they want to do, but the reason why I have so much disdain about what they did and why they did it is, okay, Snoop Dogg, you can't say you need the money, bro. Be honest. Anyone right now, whatever city or state that you're living in, if Snoop Dogg was to come and say, I'm having a concert at the North Charleston Coliseum, it would get sold out. And I think the most of us would go just for nostalgia reasons. Hey, Mel, how you doing? What's up, Joe? I think most of us would go for nostalgia reasons. So Snoop is not about money. And then to see you, as we consider him, one of the greatest rappers, to bust yourself down to being a DJ, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But let's go a little deeper. Think about some of the things that Donald Trump has said. Think about some of the things that Donald Trump is doing right now. Snoop Dogg was what we would consider to be a DEI hire, just based on who he is, what he's doing. All those folks that right now, those GS11s, GS12s, GS2s, Trump has compiled a list of everyone that went against him. Those folks are about to lose their jobs. Some things that's in the 14th Amendment, a lot of folks was thinking it was just about immigration. You better go check that 14th Amendment again and look at it carefully. There's a lot of things in there. Number one, civil rights. Just this week alone, Trump signed an executive order to roll back civil rights. I'm talking to you, Snoop. Hey, ABT, how you doing? I'm talking to you, Snoop. I'm talking to you, Soldier Boy. I'm talking to you, Nelly. And Nelly said the reason why he did it is because the men and women in the military, if they can put their life on the line, so can he. Well, let me ask you there, Nelly. Who's shooting at you at a concert, at a Donald Trump concert? You can't compare serving in the military to doing a concert. There's no comparison.
Yeah, I would agree with you, my DJ Music. I mean, that was like a poor excuse, I would say. Like if he gave that as his reasoning or his rationale as to why he performed for Donald Trump, then yeah, I would agree with you. That's a terrible, type of analogy for him to try to use. I mean, maybe what it is, maybe it's some sort of like promotion, way to get like more attention put on themselves for some reason or another, to get people talking about them or something. Like, I'm not exactly sure if it's for publicity or what it is, but when it comes like to them artists, bro, like, they they've been doing things of this nature for a long time. And if you notice too, in many like rap lyrics, I know from some songs, I can't say exactly the songs right now, but I do remember like, Donald Trump being talked about in a lot of rap songs in the past. This is before he ran for president even the first time. So I guess that's, there's this idea of being like the boss man, the one in charge. Like, he represents like this aura of, like of being like the head guy in charge.
Money and power. Actually, I know exactly what you're saying. There are 267, I do believe, if I'm not misquoting this, 267 rap songs that mention Donald Trump. 267.
Oh wow! I didn't know you had. Okay, I didn't know there was a count. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There is a count. There is a count.
Well,
but I mean, again, right. Go ahead. Getting to what Nelly said. He was on Willie D. I'm sure we all know who Willie D is from the Ghetto Boys. So Willie D asked him, "Okay, Nelly, you say that part about the military and all that. Okay, I can respect that. Even though I don't agree with it, I can respect that sentiment. But what about the part that Donald Trump is a racist? This, I'm gonna call him what I call him. Coon said Donald Trump is not a racist. Can you prove it to me that he is? Of course I can. What year would you want me to start? If your mama, if your cousin say you're a racist, if your butler says you're a racist, if your niece says you're a racist, if your uncle says you're a racist, if your cousin say you're a racist, if your wife says you're a racist, what are you? Those people know you better than anyone else. Anyone else. Now let's go all the way back to 1973 when he put C. He had his staff put C on every black person that came to rent some of his buildings. And after that, I'm sure Joe knows what I'm talking about. Right after they left out of that interview, or I was trying to gain that apartment, guess where it went? File 13, C, for colored. That was a known practice for years and years and years, Donald Trump and his father, until he got sued, until he lost that court battle. So Nelly, which part of that would not be considered racist? I don't want you black folks in my building. Which part of that is not racist? Let's talk about birtherism, just what DDS just said. He literally said that this man was not born in the United States. Let's talk about the Central Park Five, even though we know that those men were exonerated, that they were not guilty of what they were accused of. Spent a good part of their life in jail behind that. Donald Trump took out a full-page ad in all the major newspapers at that time. calling for the death penalty. No, what's that? No, the C didn't mean check, Charles. Char, the C meant colored.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the C meant colored. That's what they called us back in those days, folks. Back in the late 60s and early 70s. That's what they called us. They colored folks. But no disrespect to my palm colored folks, but y'all got more color than us and y'all, because as soon as it get cold, y'all turn pale. When it gets a little warm outside, y'all turn pink. When it gets too warm outside, y'all turn a lighter shade of, I wouldn't call it tan, but y'all change colors more than we do. So who should we really be calling colored? But I'm just saying. But
I ain't never heard that one before, brother.
I live in the country, man. We come up with all kind of shit down here. But getting back to the thing at hand. Now, I can understand Soulja Boy because other than the few tracks that he made, I don't see anybody rushing out to buy some Soulja Boy music. Nelly, I can see him also saying, okay, this might get a little charge in me. Snoop Dogg, no pass. You could go anywhere. Snoop Dogg is probably one of the most recognizable figures in this world. Would y'all agree with that? Snoop Dogg can go anywhere in the world and be recognized.
Yep, a lot of name recognition there with that name.
Right. So Snoop, instead of using your power to prop up Donald Trump, why did you use your power to prop us up? Why did you stand on that platform like you did in 2017 and say to those black folks, so which one of y'all coons gonna be the first one to perform for Donald Trump? Which one of y'all? Call them out. Y'all remember Cassette Michelle? Anybody heard anything from her lately? Remember how they just wiped her off basically off the face of the planet because she performed at the inauguration in 2016? Have we heard anything from Cassette Michelle since then? Anybody? Other than some nostalgia albums? I still play her on my station, of course. I enjoy her music. Yeah, I am disappointed. Hey Z, how you doing? Good to see you. I am quite disappointed in Snoop Dogg. So this goes back to what I was saying, folks, some time ago when I did the thing on hip hop. 50 years of debauchery, and here it is again. He who stands for nothing will fall for anything. Snoop, you stood for nothing, and you fell for the okie doke. Nelly, you fell for the okie doke. All you folks that went up there, the color of the skin that looks like mine, and had anything to do with that inauguration after knowing what Trump had in store for us. I'm gonna say,
yeah, I would like to hear from them as to why they did it. You know, why did they go up there? What reason did Snoop give as to why he did it? Because you're making a great point, and I do think that somebody needs to bring that to his attention, like, bro, what, look what you did here,
right.
So and I'm glad that you're doing that, you know what I mean, like in saying that. So
there's no, I'm sorry, yeah. Right, I'm sorry, Snoop, but there's no excuse. There's absolutely nothing that you could come if Snoop, I know you're a busy man, but if you should somehow, in some way, no shape, no form, see this particular stream, there's no excuse that you can give me for propping up Donald Trump. None. And I'm directly mostly disappointed in Snoop because he's considered, dare I use this term loosely, a leader in our communities, if we call it that. I was on another platform a couple of weeks ago and I asked a few folks, name me one prominent black city in the United States of America. I didn't say there weren't any, but off the top of your head, name me one.
Yeah, I can't even name that. Like, you said prominent? Yeah, right. Prominent? No.
Right.
Nope.
The key word,
I mean,
being
but let me
prominent.
ask you this
Absolutely.
about Snoop though. Like I know that we were saying,
Sure.
okay,
Yeah,
like, I
what's
know.
poppin'?
Oh,
Sorry,
hey
I didn't
there.
interrupt.
What's up, Allied Master?
Yeah,
Drop
Alan
on in.
Master Computer. Not much, dude. How are you guys doing? What's poppin'?
Do- Doing good.
Hey, doing good, doing good.
Your thoughts? Want to jump in right quick, like?
Yep.
I don't really know too much about it. I was gonna ask you about a different topic that kind of alarmed me a little bit.
Okay. Go right ahead. We got time, so go ahead with your question.
Man, I'm like, I don't know. I am Jewish. I will first off say that. So like, I guess the worry is a little bit more worried for me. But like, what do you guys think about that? Like Elon Musk doing that like Nazi salute, dude. I'm worried. I'm fucking worried, bro.
You took the. I was coming around to that because that's what I was going to say right after that. Snoop, Nelly, Soldier Boy. Did y'all not see Elon Musk give the German salute? Did y'all not see that?
Like that's kind of alarming, and like what's more
And it should
alarming
be.
is like a lot of these like news agencies are telling these. I mean, they're not telling these people, but like they're brainwashing these people into believing like something that they saw with their own eyes isn't real. They're saying, nope, it's not a Nazi salute. It wasn't a Nazi salute.
Of course
And,
it
like,
was.
Yeah, but they're trying like Fox News, and like I was fucking talking to my like father about this because he's still around.
Mhm.
He's like, I brought him up. I brought this up to him, and he's like, first off, it wasn't a Nazi salute, and he was like going on about like he didn't do a Nazi salute, it was something else. But it, and when I like showed him a side by side, he's like, no, not a Nazi salute. But I mean, there's no helping these fucking people. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. I don't.
No worries.
I don't know. It's just.
The only thing that was missing with that salute, Allied, was the uniform. That's the only thing that was missing.
And this
Right.
is the other interesting thing about that too, DJ and
Sure.
Allied, is that I remember when who it was, Kanye and the other brother, did some things that were quote unquote anti-Semitic, where they jumped all over them, ended their careers, made them apologize. Now I wonder if they're going to do anything to Elon Musk. You know what I mean?
Like
I wonder if they're going to say anything to him.
I really hate to say that, but I don't think. I mean, I don't know. It's fucked. Here, I have another like stance on like a whole nother thing because I'm like in a state with like illegal weed, right? And I think the only reason why they keep it illegal is to fucking brutalize minorities. I know that's fucked up to say, but I think that's why they fucking do it, so they can imprison them. And I'm not okay with that. That's fucked up.
Well, you're right, and that is a part of another conversation that we will have one day. Of course, I will start leaning more towards news articles and things that affect my community. No worries. No worries at all. I have an open panel. That's why I call it open panel. You're free to speak your mind here, even if sometimes if it goes off topic a little bit, as long as you're respectful to me and the panelists up here. Got no problem with what we're saying. No problems at all.
You're cool. You're cool.
No problems at all. But getting back to what you were talking about, Elon Musk, you're absolutely right. That was a Nazi salute, and it was. There's no way around that. And the reason why you're right. When what's his name? I can't think of the basketball player name. Remember, all he did was retweet something. He just put a link. He
plays for the Lakers, doesn't he? That hard.
Yeah. At one point in time, right? I forgot his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. And folks went absolutely bananas, saying that he was anti-Semitic and all this other stuff. He didn't write the book. He didn't make the movie. All he did was tweet about it. Now we saw this man give the German salute, the Nazi salute, but yet. Just like you said, Allied, you got folks on Fox News, you got seated members of Congress saying that it wasn't. I want you to understand what I just said. Seated members of Congress.
It's almost like I think they're almost emboldened to get away with like more like fucked up shit now that Trump's president. Because I mean, like, who's gonna stop him? He's got Trump. He's got the presidency. I think they got the House and the Senate. So
Yeah,
I am
it's
scared
yeah, it's
to
a
motherfucker.
trifecta. Yeah, it's a trifecta right now. It is. It's definitely a trifecta. Listen, I have a clip. Let me pull it up right quick, like folks, of Dr. Richie, I do believe it is, and he's talking to Snoop Dogg. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up right quickly. And he had some commentary about Snoop Dogg. And let me see if I can pull that up, folks. Come on. And Shaw, you're right. I'm sure that Snoop spoke with his family about whether he should or should not attend Donald Trump's swearing-in ceremony. But to me, I still say it was a bad idea. Now, let me see if I can. I'm trying to pull this up here. Hold on just a second, folks. I'm going to pull it up somewhere in here.
I don't know. You gonna watch the
go
Super
ahead.
Bowl?
No, I don't.
Lamar
I
is
stopped
performing
watching
at the
football.
Super Bowl. He's performing at the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar.
I stopped
That's a
watching.
good Super Bowl show. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I stopped watching football. I would say right around the Colin Kaepernick incident. That's when I stopped watching football.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot. My reasons are personal. So I don't.
No, I
don't,
respect that, man.
right,
Everyone
right.
should be able to speak their piece, have
Right.
their own opinions. The problem gets fucked up is when someone's like mad about someone other's opinion, and they're trying to go after him for it. Like,
Well-
leave him alone, you know?
Right. That's what I was speaking of earlier when I was speaking about what Aunt T said. Folks act like the end of the world came because Michelle Obama did not attend Trump's you can call it what you want
Inauguration,
to.
yeah.
Inauguration. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I remember. Speaking of that, I remember when when they were like swearing them in, like one of them wouldn't like shake Kamala Harris's like husband's hand. I thought that was really scummy too. I don't know if you heard about that story. There was just like one like senator's like husband that wouldn't shake her hand. Like,
Yeah, I saw that.
that.
Yeah.
That's childish and stupid.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I most certainly did. And again, folks have their reasons for doing what they do.
Yeah, that's
just
what I
petty,
was just
though.
going to say. Yeah, I was just going to say people got their reasons. And that's what I was saying about Michelle. She had like her reasons for not attending. But it doesn't mean that there's a problem. Like it doesn't mean that this is indicative of black men and black, women being together. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
It says nothing to that, and they're trying to extrapolate something that's not even like true to the collective of people. Like that's really weird to me. Real weird.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm worried, like with this conservative era of leadership, that I'm worried that we're gonna see like the drug war type shit, where they're fucking trying to like set shit up in like neighborhoods and shit, because it's coming. They're doing that shit with. Well, they're not doing that shit with. They're doing different stuff with immigrants, but I guarantee, I don't know. I was reading this book the other day that the CIA was like going into like black neighborhoods and trying to like, I don't know, like sell drugs or some shit.
Well, yeah. That's
fucked up, bro. That's fucking fucked up, man. I don't want that happening, dude. What the fuck?
But my man, dare I say it, for a lot of us, that's old news, brother. Hey there, Sexy Red. Hey, Femi from the chat.
Okay,
How you
but
folks doing?
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I don't know.
Oh, no worries. I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, sometimes, when you speak, it's not, and I don't want to use this word, but sometimes it's ignorant to the facts, and that's just it. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but if you don't know, you don't know. But here in my community, in our community, that is something that we've said for years, that the policemen will bring drugs into our neighborhoods and sell them. Actually, I think in one state, I do believe it's in Mississippi or even North Carolina. I do believe that there are some court cases pending right now where a lot of charges had to be dropped because the police were manufacturing the drugs and then taking them back and selling them to potential buyers and then arresting them. So that's entrapment. But that's part of just what we have to go through, brother man. And I understand your sentiment on that and I appreciate it. But that's for a lot of us. It's not new news. And I was trying to bring up this clip about Dr. Richey, but for some reason the other doesn't want to show up. I know I downloaded, but I can't find it. But what Dr. Richey was saying to Nelly and Snoop Dogg was that it's a much bigger picture than the money that you were going to make or the little prestige that you would have got from it. Just like that preacher that got up there and literally disrespected the legacy of the I Have a Dream speech to perform in front of Donald Trump and the rest of them. Even Donald Trump and what's his name looked at this dude like he was crazy. The hell's going on here?
I don't know. But all right, man, I'm gonna hop off here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Appreciate you having me.
No problem. Anytime, bro.
Okay, appreciate you, bro.
Get the link at anytime. Sure. But like I was saying, and while we're talking about that, I don't know if you folks saw the pictures that Sexy Red posted on Instagram of her and Dr. Martin Luther King. I mean, this is where the disrespect comes in that. Snoop and the rest of you.
I would imagine that it was very unsavory.
It was.
Unsavory.
It was.
I didn't see it. I can just imagine.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like it was like almost like a club setting. Like she was getting ready to go dance with the good doctor. And then there was also a restaurant in Atlanta that had Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks in an unflattering position saying, damn, this pee is good. Hey, Bridget, how you doing? Good to see you.
Oh, my Lord. See, like the dumbing down and the debauchery and, that kind of thing with the generation coming up, like they don't respect, what those good people did for our people. You know what I mean? To do something like that is like utterly disrespectful. You know what I mean? But they would say that it's not, that it's their way of honoring. But listen, disrespect is disrespect. Like it just is what it is.
It is what it is. Right.
There's a time and place for stuff like that, and that's not something you want to play with like that.
No, that is 100% disrespectful. Of all the ways that you could have honored the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, and we're going to touch on that word in just a minute, legacy. So y'all write that down. You decided the best thing for you to do was to put him in an atmosphere that that man would not be at. We know Sexy Red for this. Booty hole brown, coochie pink. Gonorrhea lip gloss. That's what we know her for. I don't know how to pin the link, ABT, but let me drop it again. I don't know exactly how to pin the link. I've tried a couple times. But
you have to go to YouTube, brother. Go to YouTube where the chat is at and right-click those three dots on the right-hand side, and it'll give you the option to pin the link.
Oh, okay. All right. That may be the problem because while I'm broadcasting, I only use the StreamYard. I don't open up the YouTube page.
Oh, that's why you got to do it in. You gotta do it in.
But I didn't know that, so thank you for that information. I did not know that.
Oh yeah. But you on the road right there. Keep going, bro.
Right.
I'm loving this. Go ahead.
Right,
go ahead.
but Sexy Red, I'd like to ask you, and that restaurant, the owners of that restaurant, they're saying they did not think that was distasteful. How is it? How is it an honor to show Rosa Parks bent over in an unassuming position with the greatness and the likeness of Dr. Martin Luther King standing up behind her, talking about This P is good. How? Hey, Lana, how you doing? The level of disrespect, and I'll say it, I don't give a damn who gets mad. The level of disrespect from some of you folks that's 25 to 45 is remarkable to me. You guys act like you cannot open up a YouTube video. You guys act like you cannot open up a book to realize that the 60s and the 70s and the 80s was not that long ago. It was just in the 60s, folks, that you could not, if you were a black person, there's some parts of town that you're living in right now that you couldn't go to. There's still places in the United States of America that's called sundown towns. Don't believe me? Go to some parts of Georgia, Mississippi. A young brother drove from Mississippi, from Chicago to Mississippi, met his demise.
I think you need to explain to him, brother, what a sundown town is. You know what? A lot of these folks don't read. So, you know, if you could go into what a sundown town is, because they probably don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? Yes. To appreciate, like, you know, the substance of it, you know, right. The substance of what you're saying. So,
gotcha. Go ahead. So what a sundown town is, folks, for those of you that don't know, is and after the sun went down, you should not be in that town if you were black. Chances are, when the sun went down and they found you in that town, when the sun came up, you were dead. If you go back and look up, there's a movie called Mississippi Burning. Y'all go watch that movie. Now, we just celebrated the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And shortly here, we'll be celebrating, I think this is what, the 50th, how many years of Emmett Till's death. Emmett's father's gone. Emmett's mother's gone. But guess who's still alive? Anybody? The one lady that said that this young black kid whistled at her, she's still alive. Still living her best life. So Snoop and Nelly and the rest of you guys, this is why black folks is so upset with y'all. Y'all act like racism stops because you're making some money. You act like our history don't make a difference to y'all because you get to line your pockets with a little bit of dough.
Not only that, brother, but you know what I mean? With all these younger guys thinking that they all gangster and hood, why is George Zimmerman still hanging around? Like, if y'all so hood and dope, why is that dude still running around here down there in South Florida somewhere, you know, doing whatever he want to do?
You know,
saying, like, you see, bro, this generation is not really about what they say that they about, but they want to turn like the violence on each other. You know what I mean? Like, instead of, you know, trying to help each other, they want to turn the violence on each other.
You're right, DDS, and you know, folks don't want to admit to that. So if you call folks out just for that, you know, they'll say, well, there's white on white crime, there's Latino on Latino crime. We know that, but for the majority of us, we don't live in the Latino neighborhoods. We don't live in the white neighborhoods. We live in our neighborhoods. And those are the ones who, some of y'all young fellas and some of y'all old fellas and some of y'all chicks is out there the ones doing the most damage to us. And when someone calls you out on it, all of a sudden either we simps, we punks, we old.
Or
run up on me. See how old I am. Run up on me with that bullshit. See how old I'll be. I'll be older than you. Go ahead, DDS.
Yeah, or if you have people that want to get away from that type of lifestyle, now y'all saying that they want to be like white people. You know what I mean? Like they want to, you know what I mean? Like they not a, you know what I'm saying, like the same as, you know what I'm saying? Right. You know, like it's just it's a mess, brother. There's a lot of dysfunctional thinking, a lot of dysfunction in the communita, the way we say it.
Yeah, as they said, the community. You have to call it out. You have, if you call yourself fair and unbiased, you have to call out the fuckery of Black America as well. Yeah, is there things in place, folks, that generationally have impeded us? We know that, but we cannot gloss over the fact that some of that what impeded us looks like us, act like us, talk like us, walk like us, think like us. And as soon as you come out your door, they'll stick you up.
Yeah, we got too much of that going on here. You know what I mean? You know, in these, you know, Black areas, you know, and it's really unfortunate. And now there's a move towards, you know, like people just accepting mediocrity. No, you have to go out there and be the best that you could be. Go learn how to read, go to the library. There's so many resources online to know, you know, about things out here now. Brother, there was a time where you had to go to the library in order to learn something. Now you don't have to do that. I mean, you got your phone right there, but people are illiterate. Like, you know, like there's no excuse for this.
Right. And like you say, when I was a kid, you didn't have a choice but to go to the library. To me, that was an adventure. When they were saying line up, and we was going to the library, me and my brothers and sisters or whatever, or my mom would say, y'all break up. You want to know some information about something? And for those of you, a couple of y'all, I'm going to date them World Book Encyclopedias, all 26 volumes of it. Nope.
Yep. And see, that's what, you know what, a section of us online be talking about that. And you know what, you know, they want to say, oh, you know, y'all bougie. Y'all don't really understand the Black experience. Why is it that the Black experience has to always be something negative? That's my question. Why is it that in order to experience the Black experience, it always has to be on some sorrow story, some terrible, you know, upbringing, you know, why? You know what I mean? Why isn't that there are better like areas for people to be, you know, to commune in, you know what I mean, to gather together. They like to come up with ideas. Changes.
Well, DDS, I can't say for sure why, but I can tell you what I've heard. Because being educated in Black world for some folks is stupid. Trying to be like, if you're trying to get an education, the only place that you can get a quality education is from white folks. That's what someone said. I'm not going to call his name, but there's enough people when he said that agreed with him. The only quality education that you can get is from white folks. That's it. And if you do try to get an education, that means you are not, dare I say, not 100% Black. You should know your place. And this is coming this is coming from the mouth of another Black man.
And see, that's that dysfunction that you and I are talking about. Like there is a lot of dysfunction going on. And just like you brought up with the Sexy Red, you know, thing, you know, to quote unquote, you know, honor, you know, Rosa Parks and MLK, you know, that is disgusting. I mean, nobody needs to be like trying to defend that. You know what I mean? Like it's very unfortunate to see, you know, this group, generation of people, the way that they behave, you know, the way that they act out here. And brother, they will be turning over in their graves if they would known that the hard work that they put in, the lives that were sacrificed for us to be able to get an education, to be able to be free, that this is what we're doing with it. Right. This is what we've decided to do with this freedom.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
So there's a lot of anger. There is a lot of anger out here towards, you know, that type of like attitude, thought system, belief system, because it's uncouth, you know, disrespectful, you know, just all the way around.
I can agree. I couldn't agree with you more, DDS. And again, like I said, you know, how do I want to say this? And I'm trying to be politically correct when I say this, but unfortunately for us, we put our worst up front sometimes. We put the worst of us up front to represent us. We see it in the YouTube streets. We see it out there in the real world. There's absolutely no way, according to the great Malcolm X, that we should be receiving our political stances and the ways that we run our lives from entertainers, from boxers, from football players, from basketball players. But is that not who has the loudest voices? Rappers, basketball players, football players. Aren't those the folks that have the loudest voices?
Exactly. And therein lies the problem. Those are not leaders. Those are entertainers. Entertainers can't be leaders, so your athletes are not supposed to be like dubbed as leaders. You know what I mean? Where are the scientists? You know what I mean? Where are the politicians? You know what I mean? Where are those individuals that are working hard every day? The teachers, people of that caliber need to be lifted up.
Absolutely.
But,
there's not too many people that could tell you the life about Jasmine Crockett, but I can guarantee you they can tell me every damn thing about Sexy Red, where she was born. I guarantee can tell me everything about Glorilla, where she was born, how old is she, and everything. But let me walk up to the average black person on the street and ask them about who Jasmine Crockett is. I guarantee I'll get a look of who. Oh, that's one of your congressmen. You didn't know that? How about if I ask them who Shirley Chisholm is? A lot of folks won't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ask them who Jay-Z is, they know. Mm-hmm. If I ask them what's going on in the world of Sean Diddy Combs, they can tell me everything that went on in the last week of the Diddy saga. They can't tell me shit about what just went on in Congress 2 hours ago. I can tell you this: Trump yesterday signed an executive order to roll back DEI, to scale back civil rights, all of that under the guise of, he was telling y'all, we're trying to keep the Latinos, we're trying to keep those folks at the southern border up. It's bigger than that. Some of you folks that like to marry outside of your race, if Donald Trump has his way, you can't do that.
Because with them, it may be about the quote unquote illegals today, but once they get that taken care of, guess who they're going to try to come after next?
Right. That's why he said.
See what I mean?
Right. That's why.
Thing.
Right. That's why he said those illegals are taking the black jobs, because that's what he was talking about. I'm gonna deport all of them, even the ones that was born here, so y'all can get y'all jobs back. That's what he said. Am I wrong?
That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
Exactly what he said. I mean, like, the man has been forthcoming with everything.
Everything. That's one thing I said. And I'll say this. I said this in 2015. I'll say it in 2016, 17, and all the way up to as long as I'm around. I would love to play poker with Donald Trump, because he tells you his hand every time. He can't help himself. He cannot help himself. If he got a shitty hand, he gonna tell you. If he got a good hand, he gonna tell you. I would love to play poker with him. But getting back to the DEI, folks, think about this. How many of you folks that you know right now work at the post office or work at a government job? It's got a pension. Since Shaw brought it up, since all you want is a pension. Right now, there is a list that's compiled by Donald Trump and his cronies that every person that went against them, they're about to lose their jobs. First, he's going to put them on furlough, let that 30-day window pass, and they're going to get rid of them. If you don't believe me, go look it up. Go look it up for yourself. Go look at what's next about the 14th Amendment. Everybody's talking about the 14th Amendment. Well, why was the 14th Amendment created? Because the 13th Amendment didn't mean shit. Remember black codes? After they freed the slaves, what did they create? Black codes. They started arresting us in drones and the vagrant laws. So they had to create something else. But they also put a loophole in that says anybody that was committed a crime is what?
A slave.
Right back to being a slave.
Right back to.
Right. That's right back to being a slave. So in essence, isn't that what Donald Trump? Because he has been convicted. So why he's in office? Why is rules for thee and not for me? 1,500 insurrectionists he just turned loose. The Proud Boys founder, the Oath Keepers founder. Do you think them folks are not going to be more emboldened now to do what they did a couple of years ago? Scathing reports by judges appointed by Trump of no, this goes against the complete rule of law of everything that's sacred supposedly about this country. Somebody asked me just yesterday, what's so great about this country? And I could not give her an answer. Why we love this country so much? It shits on us every chance they get.
Yeah. You do know that, like the Democrats, see, this is the thing is, okay, they had Joe Biden running against him first. And even during the first term, Joe Biden was having issues, man, like as far as his cognitive stuff, you know what I mean? And they waited too long to actually get, to actually move him out of the spot, man. You know what I mean? So they put Kamala up there it was a botched campaign, you know what I mean? Like a botched, campaign. So this is what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you get right here. So the Democrats, I think they just have to do a better job at putting qualified people up there that have an agenda that that they can actually fulfill, you know what I mean, actually do something for people, so I mean that's just the way that I saw that, you know what I mean, it's really unfortunate, but that's what we got. That's what we got right now.
And it is. I mean, I could go on and on and on for weeks about the level of disrespect that I see around us, to us, towards us, from us. And I'll speak friendly. I'll speak candidly on this. I have older siblings. And when I was still possibly in diapers or just not knowing what the hell was going on, my older siblings were damn near in high school. So this would be in the 70s. My older siblings and my uncles, they were the first ones to integrate the schools around here. Now, the school integration passed, I think, in the 69, 68, 70. Do you know the schools out here in Charleston County and Dorchester County and Colleton County were not integrated to 1972, 73, 74? Even though with federal mandates. We can go back to George Wallace when he stood on the steps. Snoop, I'm talking to you. Nelly, I'm talking to you. Because all this is relevant to what I'm talking about. We can go back to him when he stood on the steps and said, black folks will not be educated here. And you got dumb folks like Jay Prince and all that talking about slavery and segregation. None of that was real. Let me say something about this, folks. We were not fighting for inclusion. What's up, Zero? How you doing? We were not fighting for inclusion. We were not fighting for acceptance. We weren't fighting for a seat at the table. We were just fighting to be who we are, black people that want to live, that want to prosper, just like y'all. It wasn't about being included, although that's the narrative. We just wanted us. We wanted to raise families. We wanted to so-called have the 2.5 kids, the white picket fence, and the 2-bedroom, 2-car garage house. But we all see throughout the history of this country, roadblocks after roadblocks after roadblocks. They tell us, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. And when we do reach down and pull ourselves up by the bootstrap, guess what? We ain't got enough fucking shoes sometimes. Have y'all watched Glory? Name one war that a black man has not participated in, that's not been the hero. The guy at Pearl Harbor was a cook. Before them Japanese planes showed up, he couldn't touch none of the weaponry. All he could do was cook. But how many lives did he save?
So I want to bring.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to bring this up really quick because you made a really good point. Yeah, you know, at one point, I mean, with Plessy versus Ferguson, right? You know, there was like this doctrine of, okay, you know, fair, okay, but not mixed in between. Like, so like, you know what I'm saying? They were supposed to give certain like rights and benefits to white people.
Right,
and then,
separate but equal.
Yeah, right, separate but equal. Well, then turns with what the Brown versus Board of Education, that they overturned that. So like then there became a lot of this intermingling and things of that nature going on. And what we've noticed is that, you know, over time, like, you know, there've been like certain things that have like hurt the Black nuclear family. You know what I mean? Things like the drugs and you know, the music and things of that nature that have influenced, you know, a lot of us to go in a direction that's anti-family. Right. And I, you know, brother, I think, you know, also a lot of the feminist movements done that as well, where, you know, a lot of rights were given to women, but they were for white women. You know what I mean? So what we found out is that once we got these freedoms and stuff, you know, the family kind of separated, and women wanted their thing and men wanted their thing. And, you know, that's where we are. You know what I mean? Like at a point where, like, you know, we're all doing like our thing, but it's not together anymore. Like it's not together functioning as a traditional family. And what we've seen too, DJ Music, is that all of the data has shown, right, that children do better. We do better as a people when families are together. That means a married couple, a man and a woman, right, with their children. Like they just do better economically. And, you know, there's so many benefits to that, but everything has kind of like separated us from each other and is promoting us to go different directions. But, you know, this is what they wanted. Like they wanted, you know, to do their thing, you know, and have freedom. And what they've found is that, you know, it comes at a cost. All of this comes at a cost. Like it's not going to be something where you just experiment with and then say, oh, okay, I see how that go. Now I'm going to turn around, you know what I mean, and try to do the right thing. Well, by that time, 30, 40 years has passed.
Yeah.
Right. So see what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of dynamics to a lot of the things that you mentioned.
Right. And I get, you're absolutely right. Some of the blame has to go to the self-inflicted wounds that we put on ourselves. There's absolutely no way around that, DDS. I agree 100%. A lot of us, you know, when it comes to, you know, raising families, and you know, we hear some of the folks saying that we got put out of the houses because our women chose welfare over their husbands. You can't convince me of that. I don't believe that. I don't think there's any woman in her right mind that would choose a couple bucks a month over her family. But in some cases, you know, it is what it is. Listen, in every society you have low-hanging fruit. But it seems to me, you can give pushback where pushback is necessary or warranted. But it seems to me, like I said in the YouTube streets, we seem to uphold the ain't shitness of us as if we got a right to do ain't shitness because of past atrocities. Two wrongs don't make it right.
Exactly. No pushback given here, brother. Like I totally agree with you. And that lies in where a lot of the dysfunction is. You know, we give too much props and credit to like the people that aren't worth-ish. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the people that are not contributing or anything to look up to. You know, you mentioned earlier about the Jay Prince dude. Bro, what do women see in this dude? You know what do women see in that dude who's up here in the same situation of the women that he criticizes of. You know, he's got what, at least 2 children there. And I ain't gonna talk about the kids. He's got 2 children, and like he's complaining about how hard it is, and he's got all of this going on, and then he's online and they're crying, and you know, like there's a lot going on back there, and it's like, what is there so good about this other than the fact that it's a drama show, other than the fact that, oh, this is like a soap opera to watch. Very interested to see a man in the same position that, you know, a lot of these men keep talking about these women, you know what I'm saying, are in.
Yeah,
I mean, but I hope they're not looking up to that dude. Like, I hope that it's not any type of idolization, but to watch them over there the way that they are, like, it's very actually concerning.
I'm gonna add to that. I think one of the reasons why a lot of folks, and maybe I'm kind of off a little bit, pushing again, pushback is warranted. But I think, hey Reese, how you doing? I think a lot of those folks that go over there, especially the women, they go there because their concern is for those children. Let's see what to make sure that these children are okay. Let's make sure that this happens or that happens, because I was on a panel, DDS, and this loose nigga came up there, you know, with all his glory and all this yapping, and it's too many times folks give this dude a pass and don't want to make the show about him, but sometimes you got to point out and to give an exact example of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give you folks an exact example of what I'm talking about how we prop up our ain't shitness. Right now, if Jay Prince was to do a live stream right now, there would be 40, 50, 60 people there. Right now, if Anton Daniels did a stream, there'd be 100, 200, 300 people. Right now, if Angry Man did a live stream, there'd be, we think, 800, 900 people there. But he has the moniker of Bino, black in name only. But look down in the chat room. Look at all the so-called black people there. So these are the problem that I'm having when it's guys like me, guys like Super Sly, guys like what's my man's name, DS1, and a few of the other ones. Someone turned me on to another especially some of the ladies. When we come up on these panels and we try to give you folks pushback, the first thing we hear from y'all is, I'm gonna get your channel took down. I'm gonna strike your channel. Strike it. Got a whole nother platform. Strike it. Go ahead. See good that deuce. You still ain't ain't shit. I might be out of a YouTube channel, but you still not gonna be shit, Jay Prince. And anybody else who thinks like Jay Prince. Somebody said to me, well, you was a little bit too harsh when I'm saying that his children should be taken away from him. You damn Skippy. You damn Skippy, they should. Because if that was a black woman over there doing the shit that Jay Prince is doing, all hell would break loose.
Bingo.
Y'all know it.
Bingo.
Y'all know it.
And my thing about this, since he's putting his life out there the way that he is, it's up for criticism. I mean, if you put it out there, then it's out there for criticism. So he's putting himself out there like that. And then if he wants to get mad about it, that's his problem. But, you know, I mean, people have, you know, all the right on their channel to have a critique or criticism about what they see him doing over there on his own channel over there. You know what I mean? Like if he was so in his feelings about it, then he shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't go lie.
Don't go lie. Don't post it. Don't post it. Right. Yeah. And that's just bottom line to it. Can't nobody talk about you if they can't see it. All they can do is speculate. That's it. That's it. That's all they can do.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I totally will agree with you with Jay Prince there. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to look up to, nothing to glean from it. I know you mentioned there that the women were concerned about the children, and maybe they are. But I'm not sure if that is the reason why they're over there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, I mean,
like I said, DDS, I don't mind pushback because sometimes it is warranted. I'm trying to give some of the ladies the benefit of the doubt
Understood.
I really am, because I don't see why anybody would support that clown. I do not see it. Jay Prince, listen. Let me say something, DDS. In my files right now, I have a 2-hour stream that I'm lighting this loose nigga up. I don't want that on my platform. That's the only reason I haven't uploaded it. I don't want that on my platform. I don't want people to think that this kind of nigga exists when they come over to look at my stuff. When they come into my chat room and they see, wait a minute. So people like this are really? Okay. No. Get rid of them. If I had the power to take Jay Prince's channel down, I would. With no. Well, what about his daughters? He ain't making that much money on YouTube. He's not making that much money on YouTube that his daughters are going to be affected by the couple pieces of a little bit of change that he makes here. Get your black ass up and get a job. Wait a minute. Trump going to handle that. Because you know what he said? All you able-bodied folks that's out there receiving their welfare checks now, you're going to get up off your ass. You're going to go to work. If you're able-bodied, you're going to go to work. And ain't no, I'm going to get my check at the end of the month. No, he's devising a plan to where you only get a check 3 times a year. I told y'all. Before the election, don't come crying now. We tried, myself and ABT, and Shaw Willie, Super Sly, and anybody that would listen. We all tried to tell y'all about that Project 2025. We tried to tell you that if Trump got back in office, he was going to implement that. Oh, and that's not going to mess with us. It's going to bother us. Okay. All right. We'll see. When that GS11 job that you got don't mean shit no more.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see when you go down to renew your food stamp allotment this month, Jay Prince. They're going to tell you, do you got a job? For all those women, I'm calling out everybody. For all those women who sit on TikTok and say, I make umpteen amount of money from my baby daddy and the government. Why I need to go to work? Well, you about to find out why.
You about to find out.
They're hired at the post office. No, you might not want to work there either.
Brother, I think more people do need to get a job, brother. Like, you know what? I would say that because, we see what we see on YouTube, man. Like, these people e-begging, man. Like, bro, like, it's pathetic.
E-begging.
They want to stand on it.
E-begging. That's e-begging. That's shit. I wouldn't. They just flat out just saying. How many times have you heard Angry Man say, "Support the stream, or I'm gonna stop the show"?
Oh yeah. I know he does that, and it's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of that going on right now, and it's pathetic. I mean, it's really pathetic to watch it. It's like, why don't y'all just, like an easy way around this is just go get a job, nigga. Go get a job, because the fact of the matter is YouTube don't have insurance. It doesn't have life insurance. It doesn't have health insurance. It doesn't have a pension. It doesn't have any fringe benefits, right? So, and not only that, but you're out here just, with your hand out begging for money, and
Right.
then, you have to say crazier and crazier things every day because you got to go live every day. I mean, my thing about it should just be much easier just to go and fill out an application, like a normal functioning human being. And go get a job. Get
a job. That's for job. Hey, Pure Butterfly, how you doing? Hey, listen, Pure Butterfly, hit the link for a minute. I was listening to you on Big J's platform earlier. I know you kept getting cut off over there, so I'd like you to come up here and say what you were saying about Michelle Obama. So if you don't mind, hit that link for me right quick, like. I dropped it in the lounge there because that's kind of how I started off the show, and actually that's what kind of what sparked this particular stream. I didn't know whether the internet was going to going to allow me to do this today or not. But unfortunately, we're doing all right by now.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad to chop it up with you. Did Pure actually agree with that, or did she?
No, she totally disagreed with the fact of what we were talking about, the Michelle Obama thing. She totally disagreed, and I think, to be quite honest with you, I think she was about to get in Aunt T's ass. I don't think he wanted that smoke. So we're gonna leave it.
Okay. Well, here's your chance. Yeah.
Right. We're gonna leave it just as that. But
yeah.
But again, folks, the election is over with. There's absolutely nothing that we can do right now to take Donald Trump out of office. What's happening in the next 4 years, if you're 35 and under, this is going to affect you more than it's going to affect me. I have more days behind me than I have ahead, and that's not being morbid. That's being truthful. I got it. I didn't say it. I got that from Marlon Wayans, and he's younger than me. Got more days behind me than I have ahead. So when we look at these days that we have ahead of us, folks, we really thought it was going to be about immigration. We really thought it was about bringing down the price of milk, eggs, chicken, pork chop, all those things. Let me say, listen here. I should have put that on do not disturb. But all those things that we hold so near and dear to us, gas. As a matter of fact, when's the last time any of you folks ever heard of it snowing in Florida?
Oh, DJ Music, man, I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, it was snowing down here.
And there's no such thing as climate change, right?
Before. Yeah, right. I had never seen it before. It was snow all over the car in the morning, bro. Like, it felt like the end of days almost. I was like, this cannot be happening right now. You know what I mean? But it was. Snowing down here.
Right, snowing in Florida, folks. But they say there's no such thing as climate change. I beg to differ with you. I'm a landscaper, and I see things out there from 10 years ago that I didn't see now, that I see now.
Oh, that landscape. Oh, that's what you do, landscaping?
Yeah.
Oh, that's that's another great job to get into. Like, if people want to start their own business,
absolutely,
there's a lot of money to be made in that.
It sure is. It sure is.
I'm telling you, people will pay. You know what I mean? They will pay for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Good stuff right there. Them weed eaters and mowers and blowers and rakes and all that stuff. You gotta have your equipment up there.
It can. Yeah. And for those of you that are interested in starting off that business, I tell you what I would suggest anyone to do, if you got a truck, go get you a push mower, go get you a blower, go get you a couple hand tools, go into a neighborhood, find you about 4 or 5 yards in that neighborhood, and start building from there.
Mm-hmm. Good money. Good money right there.
Absolutely is. My brother and I know I can say that I honestly have not really worked for anyone since 2005. And I know my brother hasn't had worked for anyone since 2003. So there's something going on in the landscaping business.
It is. Okay. It surely is.
Right. Hey, Pure, how you doing?
Hello.
Good. Listen, I think she dropped off again. Is she there?
Yeah, I think she's trying to come up. I'm not sure.
Right. And then actually, it is, Bridget. I do believe that, it does not take very long to learn this business. It does not take very long to learn how to do now. Me and my brothers and my nephews, we have it down to a science. We can go into a yard and know how long it's going to take, whatever. But let me just say it like this: how many of you folks make $45 an hour? Anybody? If I go into a yard right now and it takes me 30 minutes to cut a yard and I charge $45 for it, didn't I just make $45 an hour?
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of good money in that. My brother was in it, you know what I mean? And he made a lot of money, more money than what I made.
It is very good money.
What I
Yeah,
made, man.
absolutely.
I was like,
Absolutely, it is, folks. If you can stand the heat, if you can stand the critters, because I can tell you, you're gonna get stung by bees.
damn.
You're gonna get you're gonna a wasp gonna get you. You're gonna step in a hole. You're gonna get wet a few times. You're gonna come home smelling like gas on some days. You're gonna come home some days smelling like all outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, it's an honest living. Folks respect you. Folks know. I'm going to brag on my brother a little bit, but for some of the contracts that he has, I'm quite proud of my younger brother. So with that, doesn't take very much. A good push more costs maybe anywhere from $100, $150. A good weed eater or blower costs anywhere from, if you can get about $500-$600 and invest into some lawn equipment, and if you got a truck, the world is your oyster. You can go anywhere. There's enough yards out there that everybody can eat, and you're not on top of each other. Everybody can eat.
Y'all brothers hear that?
Try that in the rap.
Hear that, y'all, and I will attest to that myself because my brother did it.
Yep.
He did the same thing. So, you know what? There are options out here, and it don't take a big ass loan to do it.
No, it does not.
A little truck, couple weed eaters, a couple push mowers, a blower, some rakes, you know what I mean? Like maybe an axe or something, you know what I mean? And just patrol that area and go from there.
Right, absolutely.
Go from there.
Let me answer this question right here. Is there a license needed? Actually, Bridget, no, there's no license needed unless you are going after government contracts, and then you should have a license. Or if you're putting down like chemicals or different things like that, then you need a license for that. But if you're just out going from community to community, no, you don't need a license for it. You do not. I would suggest that you do get a license. I would suggest that you get a business license. That way you can what they call an I-9 form. That's how I file my taxes, with the I-9. But yeah, I would suggest if you go into the business after that first year of trying to make a little money, that you set some of that money aside and buy you a license. Yeah,
and it's not that much. It's not that much to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that much. And then you legitimately a business. You know what I mean? You could go and apply for loans and stuff like that. Like if you want to upscale or something like that, you want to get your little trailer on the back to carry some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Make it easy to roll it out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Bridget, that's again, you think like me on this one, because that's what we do when it comes to the I-9 form. But that's what you do. Like again, I'll use my brother as an example. He has 2 trucks on the road, so he takes one crew out, and then another crew. So that crew works for him. They don't have any equipment, but if you wanted to do that way, to where you wanted to purchase all the equipment and hire folks to do it, I would suggest that you hire someone that already knows the business, that already knows exactly how to cut a yard, because there's a difference between landscaping and cutting grass. There's a lot of grass cutters out there, folks. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of grass cutters, but there's landscapers out there that they come in.
Landscaping is different. That's where you can kind of go out, saying to, certain nurseries and buy certain flowers. Like you got to know your plants and stuff like that, and suggest, you know what? I think you should put elephant ears here. You know what I mean? Like that'd be good, because they do, they don't need much shade, right? You know what I mean? So you have to know a little bit about like plants and gardening and things of that nature.
Absolutely, you do.
Piece of it. Mulch, and that little black liner that they put around the, I forgot what they call that, but it's something put down first.
Landscaper, whatchamacallit. Now let me tell you about that. Since we're talking about it, there's something that it's called landscaper thing, and you can put it down that says it's supposed to stop weeds. That does not work. Don't waste your money on that. If any landscaper tells you I need to put this black film down to stop the weeds from growing, that don't work. Okay, so don't waste your money. You're going to spend about anywhere from, depends on how much area that you're trying to cover, anywhere from $100 to $200 on something that the weed's gonna pop through the next season, or the grass gonna pop through in the next season. No, don't.
I think it's like a border too. What I was talking about was like this black border, right? That you could put that will hold that mulch in place to keep it from going further, or like rocks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, like a stop.
Right. And since we're talking about it again, I'll run my mouth a little bit about this. Okay, Pure, I'll give you 5 minutes. We'll just chop this up for about 5 minutes. So again, back to the landscaping thing at DDS, like you said, when you go into someone's yard, they're going to ask you a few, especially if they're serious about making sure that their yard is taken care of. They're going to ask you a series of questions. Number one, you got to know plants. You got to know what the terrain. You got to know what's a feasible price, because some folks will come to your yard and overcharge you. There's large yard, medium-sized yard, and small yards. Now, if you come to a small yard and you try to charge somebody for $60 for that, you're not going to work. You're not going to last long in this business. You can't overcharge people. You got to know your plants. You got to know what plants are best for certain types of the season. You also have to know what weed killer, what it does, what weeds does it kill. I'd be able to identify certain type weeds, and all that goes into the landscape. And that's why I say you have landscapers and then you have grass cutters. Start out as a grass cutter, make your little money in that, and then work your way into becoming a landscaper. That's how we did it. That's how me
right there. Yep, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's real easy. It doesn't require a lot of money to start it. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just like we were saying, you know what I mean? Just a few, basic, things.
That's it.
Then you can work your way up from there. But there's good money in it, and your work speaks for itself. I mean, when you do a good job out there,
listen,
even the neighbors be looking, they be like, oh, that looks so nice. Who did you get to do that? Or they'll be watching you do it, and they'll be like, oh, can you do mine? There you go, another customer right there. But so your work for itself.
Right. You always want to showcase yard, and you always try to find a yard or a business that's pretty much that everybody has to drive past. I have one, my brother has one, and a few of my landscaping buddies, we all have one. So when I see a certain yard, it has a signature that I know that's my brother's work. Same with me. My brother knows my work. Another guy that we work with from time to time. We all know each other's work, so there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whether he did that yard or he did that business or he did that business. But when I say showpiece, is that showpiece that folks can drive by and stop and say, who does your landscaping? Not who cut your yard. Who does your landscaping? That's the level that you want to reach. One yard brings a yard, and that's how we see it. You do a good job on that one, chances are the neighbor's gonna see what you're doing. Somebody's gonna drive by, especially when you got a showpiece like my brother does a car lot, one of the main car lots around here. And every time he goes there, somebody, you got a card, you got this, or you got that. One card brings on business. I see you back, Pure. Turn your mic on.
Is it on? I don't know if it's on or not.
There you are.
Hey, Mr. Bird, how you doing?
How you doing?
All right, I'm doing pretty good.
Now, getting to the conversation that I heard earlier today, this is kind of what sparked this live stream. Speak your mind on what you were speaking about Michelle Obama earlier.
Hey, so I don't know why they think just because she didn't come to a Trump rally, because that's what I see the inauguration is a Trump rally, a KKK rally. So just because she didn't show up at that doesn't mean that her and her husband have problems. And her not showing up, she shouldn't show up. The disrespect that she has been shown throughout these years with this MAGA, what do I want to call it?
Sycophants.
Yes. They've called her a tranny. They said that they paid for their children. She didn't birth her children. They've done so much horrific and said so much horrific things about her. I think her showing up would have been a disrespect to herself.
Thank you.
So for me, I'm happy she didn't show up.
Me too.
I'm ecstatic she didn't show up. The person they should be asking for is why did what's his name? The one that they the first vice president he had, I can't think of his name.
Pence, Mike Pence.
Pence, they wanted to hang him. And Trump gave all of the people that wanted to hang him, had nooses and had zip ties for hands, gave them a pardon. So his wife didn't show up. Why is there not a problem with his wife not showing up? And the fact that he showed up was beyond belief. Why would you show up to his inauguration?
I don't get it. There's no amount of money, knowing what I know about what Donald Trump said and what he did,
Yes.
that I would have showed up if I was Mike Pence. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But see, folks can give him a pass. But Michelle Obama was supposed to, as they say, go high and turn the other cheek, so to speak. Well, how many times could you turn the other cheek before somebody?
I mean, why should she though?
Right.
If Trump's own wife doesn't even want to be there and half the time shows up for nothing.
You see the air kiss? Did y'all see that during the inauguration? Y'all saw the
She
air
don't
kiss?
even want to be there. And the only reason why
don't
she
wanna
was
kiss.
there this time is because she was trying to big up her own Bitcoin.
Okay. Man, that's another thing that Snoop used. He said that he wasn't really there for Donald Trump. He was there for the other guy. Stop it, Snoop. Stop that. Just say that you thought that was a good idea. I made a mistake, and ask for the black folks that say, y'all could y'all let me slide on you. I've done good. I'm sorry. I fucked up this time. But hey,
I really don't understand why they expected Michelle Obama to be there. For one, I don't even think that Obama should have been there. Like, why even be there?
Obama
I
was there.
actually kind of agree with that too. You know, because my understanding is that Trump didn't show up. You know,
He didn't. He did not show up to Joe. He did not. He did not show up to Joe Biden's inauguration. He did not. He was too busy trying to say that the election was stolen. He was too busy.
I would have been like, okay, if my wife ain't going, hell, I ain't too crazy about this dude either. I ain't gonna go either. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, so I actually give her a lot of credit, like Peter said right there. Like, I give her credit for actually, what I'm saying, being honest and being like, you know what? I don't like this lady. I didn't like what she had been doing. I don't like what they have been pushing against me, my husband, my family. No, I'm not showing up.
No, I'm not.
So
No,
I actually give her a lot of credit for
right.
that.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
And those who stand for nothing will fall for anything.
Can you tell me why they got a problem with Michelle Obama not showing up and have no problem with Elon Musk giving the Hitler salute to the audience
I
and
wish
to white supremacists?
I wish I had a valid answer to give you, but I really don't. I don't know why. I really don't. Other than the fact of the obvious. Let me answer this.
It's okay for them to throw out a Hitler salute, and I don't care anybody's saying he's autistic. He is a billionaire. There is no autism in the world that can make up for him doing that salute. So quit bullshitting with people. You're smart enough to run a multi-billionaire company, but you don't know that you made a Hitler salute? Get the fuck out of here with that. Excuse my language.
No worries. How can they say that, man? I've never heard anyone until that salute say that Elon Musk was autistic. Not until
I had never heard that either.
Never.
Actually, this is my first time hearing it. So
Right.
he's supposed to be autistic?
According to them. I told you they came over at Fox News and those Republicans, they're coming up with all kind of reasons for that because they don't have a justifiable reason.
There is none, because he was saluting. He has always been infatuated and loved Hitler, and the exact same salute. And they're like, "Oh, he touched his heart." Well, so did Hitler, and so did the neo-Nazis.
Right.
So try again. What else you got to say?
Right. There's no excuse for it. Let me answer this question right quick, like on the screen. Is there a reason for a lawn guy to cut all the lilies off the plant? Unless if they're dead, with Bridget, that's what they call deadheading. But if the plant is in full bloom, there's absolutely no reason for him to cut that bloom off. It falls off naturally. Most lilies, the bloom lasts anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks, depends on the type of lily that you're planting. A tiger lily lasts for about 3 weeks. As we call them, ditch lilies. Down the south, you see them a lot. They bloom for about 2, 3, 4 days. But that's absolutely no reason other than that the plant has a dead head on it, is what we call it, that the bloom is dead, and you make room for another bloom possibly later on. But that's the only reason why. Other than that, it messed up. That's just a polite way of putting it. Yeah.
And what I would say too, you know what I'm saying, going to Elon. So you know what, I brought this up earlier when Kanye West and Nick Cannon did their little anti-Semitic things. They were all over them, made them apologize. Now I wonder if they're going to do that to Elon Musk.
No, because he's a white man and he's a billionaire.
No, right? No.
Well, those Jews, well, that group of people, they own a lot of media. They own a lot, so they can do it if they want to. They got the power to do it. That's my thing. They do have the power. I know this man has a lot of money, but they got much more.
But people don't realize where he also comes from. He came from South Africa during apartheid, and they were okay with apartheid.
Okay.
His family's okay with apartheid.
Okay.
That's something I didn't know. Okay.
Right. That's one of the, that was one of the running jokes of DDS when Donald Trump was first getting elected. Everyone was saying, well, who's going to be the real president? Is it going to be Donald Trump, or is it going to be Elon Musk? This will be the first time the United States has had a foreign president in office.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
so money does talk, folks, and there's absolutely no way around that.
That's a fact.
Should Elon Musk be anywhere around our government, U.S. government? No, but you have enough people that so hell consumed on making that almighty dollar that they don't mind turning a blind eye to stuff like that. But if that was me, you, or any of us out here that try to do some of the things that we've seen Trump doing, we've seen Republicans doing, and different things like that, even some Democrats, and they're not clean in this. I'm just talking about the Republicans, but they're not clean in this, because a lot of this stuff, those closed door meetings that we don't know about, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not only that, but I'm thinking about what they did to Candace Owens too. You know what I mean? Candace Owens was bringing in a lot of revenue for YouTube.
Yeah.
And she said something, you know what I mean, like about that group of people, and they shut her down. They shut her down, so they can do it.
Well, Jews are making excuses for Elon right now. So
yeah, pretty much. And to touch on DDS, DDS to touch on Candace Owens for a minute.
Yeah.
Whatever small amount of respect I had for Candace Owens, I don't agree with 99.9% of what she says, but even a broke clock right twice a day. But for her to get on a stream and say there's no such thing as dinosaurs, what the hell's wrong with her? What's wrong with her?
Candace Owens, she is a she has some out there ideas. I know that.
Right. So
ideas are really out there, but
so those things we call fossils. None of those exist, Candace. You're another one. You're another one.
Please tell me she's not a flat earther.
No, yes, she is.
Oh God.
Yes, she is.
Oh Lord.
I forgot the platform that she was on, DDS. I'll send you the link to it so you can hear it for yourself. But okay. she was on I'm talking about a rant, like she was on an educational rant trying to explain to this podcast host to why the dinosaurs never existed.
What was her argument? Do you remember what her argument was?
It's man-made. It's the dinosaurs were man-made creatures. How could the dinosaurs live and all be wiped out at one time or the other just like that? Kansas, do you know they're still living dinosaurs today? They call them alligators. They call them crocodiles.
Mm-hmm. Lizards, all that. Just they're not the size that they were back then, because there was there was nothing. Now it's environmental. They can't get that huge anymore, and there's nothing they can eat. They have butterflies bigger than people back then.
Absolutely, mosquitoes that would literally pick you up and carry you off, and if they bit you, would probably kill you.
Oh, fact.
So again, these are the folks that we prop up front there, folks. Folks that dare I say it, not everybody needs a platform. Not everybody needs a mic in their hand, and it's evident from some of the folks that we've seen: Snoop Dogg, Nelly, a few of our black so-called leaders. A lot of them that black. I guess he calls himself a pastor that utterly shamed Dr. Martin Luther King's in the "I Have a Dream" speech, trying to show off for white folk. That's what he was doing. He was auditioning for white folks. Modern day minstrel show. That's what that was.
And it's on both sides too, brother. Like
both
it's
sides.
not just all the men, certain men. It's
no,
women
that's right.
too.
That's right.
You got Glorilla up there, Sexy Red up there. You know what I mean? Making a plum fool of themselves, trying to quote unquote honor MLK.
Put it back. Right.
Yeah.
The best. If you wanted to honor MLK, and I'm sure all those neighborhoods to where those folks live at, you could have had an MLK dinner. You could have fed the homeless. You could have donated money to Ebenezer Baptist Church. You could have donated to any black church. There's so many other things that you could have done. Sexy Red and all these other folks that was.
Well, don't they know that when Trump gets when his regime, and I call it a regime because it's just like the Nazi regime, when it gets in full effect, and they can get white women that they want to get all the white women back in order that are no longer feminists, that no longer are up under their abuse, then they're going to segregate again. They're going to do everything they can to roll everything back. So I don't know what they think. They don't care about what Martin Luther King was fighting for. They don't care about none of that. They want to roll the tides back. So I don't know where people are at and don't feel it or don't see it. The fire, right. I mean, I can go on and on and on about the fires in California and that being something connected to Trump and the people that follow Trump. I can go on and on about all this, but somebody's going to call me a conspiracy theorist.
Well, there's no conspiracy. There's something that there's a bit of truth in it. You have to look at, since you brought up the fires in California, you have to look at everything in its totality. Why were the firemen laid off? Why was critical supplies diverted from that particular part of the country? Why were the fire hydrants not connected to a reliable water system?
And then not only this, but let me ask y'all this, right? So we know every single year that is a really dry area, and every year they have these Santa Ana winds, right? That come through. Why are people still building in an area that is prone to wildfires like that? And earthquakes and things of that nature. I mean, they're right there, and every year that some person is probably going to throw away a cigarette somewhere, and it's going to be at the wrong place, the wrong time, and the next thing you know, it's going to be.
Well, if you're going to talk like that, nobody should be anywhere because a catastrophe can happen anywhere.
Yeah, but this is every year, though. Every single year,
Did you see some of the photos where the houses were completely burnt to a crisp, but the trees standing around the houses weren't touched?
I've seen footage of everything being burned. The trees.
No, what I'm saying is I've seen a lot of footage where the houses themselves burnt to the ground. However, the grass wasn't torched, the trees around it wasn't torched. And, they're talking about smart meters causing fires in homes.
Yeah. And again, I didn't, someone said this, I was having a conversation about this, but they call that area where the fire started at the Palisades, right? Now,
Mhm.
if you translate the Palisades, it translates into what? Fortress. That's why folks move up there. It's a fortress for them.
And one of those
they're
are
around.
like electric towers that were built. I remember when it first started, you know, I was watching the news and David Mirror came up there and
Mm-hmm.
he was showing some footage of where like people were saying that they saw it first start like right up underneath the electric tower. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And poor people, because right now the insurance companies have dropped people. They're saying that they're not going to pay.
Mhm.
So I mean, this is a catastrophe here, you know, and like it's a lot going on. Like it's really
right.
a lot going on.
It's
you
the
know?
same thing. The same thing they did in Hawaii. Before the fire started, a lot of those folks lost their insurance coverage. Same thing in Louisiana when the hurricanes came through. A lot of those folks was denied flood insurance. Same thing down
And
here.
they find any reason to, like they
Any
find
reason.
any reason to
Yes.
try to say, oh, that's not covered. Oh, that's not the type of flood that we're talking about, or that wasn't high enough of a flood. You know what I mean? Like all types of reason to try to, you know, say, oh, you know, we're not gonna pay, you know, or it wasn't caused by, that wasn't the result of a hurricane. You know what I mean? Like they, you know, like they would just come up with anything,
right?
Without, and they'll let them do it, bro. Like they will let them do it. And this is why sometimes you see what, you know, y'all saw what happened to the guy, right? You know what I mean?
The United Healthcare guy.
Yeah.
Somebody was fed up.
You know what? I totally feel that sentiment. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are suffering. You know, they got the money. They got the money, but they don't want to. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to pay.
Absolutely.
They don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay, and it's been documented now that you know, the United Healthcare, those folks were up to no good. They were completely up to no good. But before we get out of here, folks, I'm going to try and wind this up in a 2-hour time. You know, everywhere I go, and again, pushback where pushback is fine with me, but I always hear some folks using this word feminism or feminist. Me, I've never had a clear, concise, and in my own mind of what a feminist is, because I've always heard it used in such a derogatory term. So I looked up the word feminism, and this is what I found it to be. It is a social movement that advocates for women, equality in society, and the economy, as well as politics. It also seeks to end gender discrimination and stereotypes. So for those folks that say feminism is a bad thing, what's bad about this? A social movement.
Not. The only time it gets to be where me and my daughter were talking about it, because the feminist movement, I am that type of feminist. However, we have people that, women now, that are so pro-trans, and it doesn't matter if a man is faking being trans or whatever, they're putting women's safety above these quote unquote trans men that transition into women, or they're not even transitioning. They just are saying it, and thus they say it. It must be so. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. So they're protecting those people, and I'm not for that. I'm not for males that go into spaces to violate women and then use the guise of being trans and then have the feminist movement protect them instead of the women that are being harmed. I'm not for that.
Right. Fair enough. And go ahead, DDS.
You know what? I was just going to say this too, is that there's nothing wrong with that definition. I mean, I took a feminism course in college, and that is completely right the way you describe feminism. But the issue, brother, is that, you know, we talk about more so like radical feminists. You know, those are the types of people that say the world would be better if women ran it, or that men are just intrinsically bad, like they're evil.
Right.
That type of ideology. So we say modern Black feminism. That's actually even a bit different than even that. So, but you are correct with the term of feminism. There's nothing wrong with that, not one iota. That's not what we are talking about here in the sphere. We're talking about something completely different. So
Got you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, just like with so many other movements, the feminist movement was hijacked.
Oh, it's definitely hijacked now because when you're putting males above women's safety and stuff, and what the whole movement was to protect women financially when it comes to being able to buy property, when it was protecting women from being beaten by their husbands and putting laws on the book, when it was created to protect women in jobs to not be sexually harassed and or not get paid what they should get paid for their work. They've moved away from that, and now it's about protecting men again. And
Well,
I don't get that.
Yeah,
you're
you know what? I would agree with that because, like, if you think about this, like, just as she said, women's right to vote, to be treated fairly, I don't see anything wrong with that. I actually support that. Those are great ideas and concepts.
right.
The issue is, just like you said, DJ Music, it's been hijacked. And what we have now is something what we call modern Black feminism. That's this idea that we could do it all by ourselves. We don't need no man. You know, I'm strong and independent, like that type of deal. That is different than what you're talking about here. So, like, I want to make that distinction.
I got you. That's why. That's right.
There.
That's why I asked the question because I just wanted to be clear on it, DDS, because I hear so many people for and against it. So again, for it to be for or against it, at least you got to know where the root of it came from. So that's what my thing. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of semantics being played out here, and that's a great example of it. So when you hear people say feminism, that's the problem, this, that, and the third, they don't understand. Either they don't understand exactly what feminism is, you know what I mean? Or what they're doing is they're playing semantics, and what they're talking about is something different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. I see. Well, let me ask you folks, and I'll start with you, Pierre, since you're a lady on the panel. Where do you see the United States of America in the next 4 years?
I see it going right back to they've already implemented a lot of things, and they already started in Texas and other states to implement Project 2025, which is white male supremacist, misogynistic males to go back into power, to knock out any women's rights that have been established, and to pull people back into a racial hierarchy, a gender racial hierarchy. That's what we're headed for, and that's what they're pushing for. Project 2025 is not for women. It's not for anybody that is not a Anglo-Saxon Christian. It is not for anybody that is of any other groups, racially, religiously, gender-wise. It's against women. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So that's where they're trying to take us back to. And people that are co-signing and hopping on that Trump train are hopping on a Trump train to their demise. It's just like Jews getting on the train to Auschwitz, and ending up in the concentration camps and then into the fire. That's what we're pushing for.
Right, DDS.
Well, what I see, is I see a rollback of a lot of this wokeism. That was an issue that I think a lot of people actually had, with a lot of what was going on with the Democrats over there was a lot of this wokeism and a rollback of a lot of this LGBTQ stuff. All of this idea of, saying little black boys and little black girls could use the bathroom together, and there are rules where, they can't tell the parent that the boy thinks he's a girl. You know what I mean? All types of little crazy, like weird stuff like that has been getting on people's nerves. So I think that Donald Trump did tap into that and that sentiment. So he's going to roll a lot of that back. But the problem is,
he's going to roll things back, all right. You just wait and see.
Yeah, The problem is that, like, I could see this being
Something getting on your nerves is something totally different than something that's going to kill you later.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, so, like, that's what I see. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it all shapes out.
So you support Trump?
4 years of it. Say again?
Do you support Trump?
No. But what I'm saying is that, that's what I see, and that's what he tapped into.
The LGBTQ is the least of anybody's worry because it's like a minor pocket of people. It's not even 5% of the population. It's not even near 5% of the population.
Right. But see, the problem is they have gotten rules and language change where, like, it is bothering regular type of people. They're like, I don't want my son to be confused, right, with his sexuality because he has to use the bathroom with females, you know what I mean? Like, girls and stuff. Like, like they have
kids use the same bathroom. If you're living in the same house, you're using the same bathroom. There ain't no females and male bathrooms in your house. It's just everybody uses the bathroom, period.
Yeah, but that's not the same as at a school though. It's not the same.
Understood. I'm against anybody violating another human being in the guise of calling yourself transgender. I'm against that as well.
So, that's kind of like, what I'm saying, what I see there, but it's going to be interesting.
Definitely be interesting. And I agree. I'll agree with both of you. I do believe that this was this what we see now that's going to go on within the next 4 years. I think it'll be a detriment to black and brown people, the alphabet community.
People, even white people, they just don't know it yet because what Trump stands for is not for poor white people. He is for the very elite.
It's all about the rich, right? It's all about the white male elite rich. That's what this is about. And for those that are hanger-oners, they will see shortly and soon enough that what Trump is proposing for the United States of America, whether you like this country or whether you love this country, I think, as if you go back and you look throughout history, every great civilization did not fall from outside its walls. It collapsed from within. Look at the United States and look how we're going. Lawlessness. You have congressmen that won't even say the simple thing as that Donald Trump lost the election 4 years ago. They won't say the simplest things as if there's no such thing as climate change. And we know there is. It's snowing in Florida.
Well,
snowing in Florida, bro. That's unbelievable.
But also people don't talk about that the poles shift and we're in a shifting of poles. We were already moving in degrees, but the scientists aren't even talking about that part, that we're actually moving not the tectonic plates, but the poles are literally shifting. We live on a globe where the poles shift. And we are shifting right now, and nobody talks about that part too.
Yes, could this be the beginning of, dare I say, a new ice age or a new planet to where everything is exceedingly hot? Yeah.
I have my own theories about that. Yeah. If you want to hear my theories, I'll tell you.
Sure, we got a little bit more.
They sound a little bit whacked out. So, the Mayans have had a calendar that wherever we were in the cosmos, because we are a globe, we rotate and we roll through different universes in the cosmos. And even though we have our own solar system with our own sun, we move through other solar systems. We move through other places in the universe. That's how we rotate through them. And I feel like we're in one of those places where this is where we're at. Even though we do have a sun, even though we do have a solar system, these are different places that we're rolling through.
Right. And I agree. I see where you're coming from there, Pure, because, I've heard people over the years that they say, well, they want to call it a conspiracy theory. But you ever thought about this? The sun is 94 million miles away from the earth. So the sun rays and the warmth that we're getting from the sun now could be from eons ago. How do we know? How do we know that the sun's not? How do we know that the sun's not out already?
Yeah, they've actually like said that that's true. That the photons that are hitting us right now are millions of years old.
Old, right,
Yep.
old. And again, I don't know the veracity, the truth to
Be
this.
right back. Hold on.
Sure. Like I said, I don't know the veracity or truth to this, but supposedly there's he stumbled on this just an amateur radio thing out there searching the stars and seeing if he could pick up any communication. Supposedly for the last 6 months, there's been a constant signal, but no one can
Oh,
find where
wow.
and no one can find where it's coming from.
Not only that, brother, you know what I mean? But, like I was saying about the photons, the way that they've said it, right, is that the way the sun works is that, okay, so the inner core, like the photons are moving from the inside of it to the outside. And once it hits the outside, that's when it jets out. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
that's why they say that it's millions of years old. So
Millions of years old, right.
Yeah,
Right.
there is some thought to that. But,
Right.
yeah,
The warmth that we're receiving is actually the energy from the corona of the sun.
right.
When it comes out like this shape, and you see like little solar flares and stuff like that coming up. Again, it's I'm speculating because I'm not a scientist. I'm only speaking about what I've heard. I watch a lot of nature channels, a lot of planetary channels and stuff like that. That actually
Yeah, I
watching
do
the
too.
series
That's
right
why.
now.
That's how I know. That's how I know.
Right. I was just watching the other day a DDS where the little rover that was sent out to Mars, and it finally did its last bit of information back, and now they're trying to get one to land out in the Venus and trying to see the rings of Saturn and all that. So to me, it's quite interesting because I look at it like this: what makes us so unique in this vast universe? What would make us so unique? Is there are there alternate realities? It's like, to me, it's like looking in a mirror. It's just infinite. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
you know what I mean. Like I
infinite.
totally agree with you. And I mean, I've seen some stuff, bro. Now I'm not gonna say that I've seen them or that I'm a witness to it, but I've seen some footage. Not just conspiracy stuff, but actually on Fox News and CNN of unidentified objects, bro, that the military filmed, man, and they were showing it plain as day. They didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Like they were
Right.
trying to lock in on it. You know what I mean? And it's relatively new stuff. I think from 2004, they just declassified it.
No, this ain't new. But I was with a Marine fighter attack squadron, and a lot of times you would hear, if you got a chance to go into the ready rooms, or you would be privy to some of the pilots' conversations, you would hear them saying, "I saw some strange shit up there today."
Yeah, brother. So it does. I mean, it's it's a lot going. It's a lot going on, like I was saying, brother. It's a lot going on. You better hold on tight.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot going on, folks. So again, I don't pretend to have all the answers, and some of the stuff that I said up here today, or we had conversation about, it's my opinion. But to recap, no, I don't think there's any black person, regardless of what you do, how you do, and why you do, that should support Trump because they say he's a president of the United States. Well, just because he's a president of the United States, that doesn't necessarily mean you got to go perform for him.
Nobody should be supporting him if you have a brain.
Right. I'm sorry, but to me, I've seen enough of Donald Trump that if it walks like a duck, it got feathers, and it quacks, I can only call it just what it is, a duck. So when I see Donald Trump, and I see folks like Stephen Baker, what's this guy that's running around here? Steve Bannon.
He's a known KKK member.
Yeah. Sitting up just the other day, one of the Proud Boys, the leader Enrique, was sitting up in a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donut, a coffee shop in the Capitol, where him and his folks assaulted 4 years ago, like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our history, folks. Like it, love it, dislike it, we still have to deal with it. Everybody has a platform, because anybody that can talk, that has a smartphone, cell, a laptop, or whatever, can be a part of this conversation. This is what I suggest that everybody does.
I'm getting into Kendrick Lamar because he put a song out telling him, turn the TV off, turn the TV off. Here we go. We're going into the 4 years of Trump, and what we had was nothing but a shit show before. And people tuned in and tuned in and tuned in. I would suggest people completely tune out, because that's what they want you to do. They want your digestive system in your body to be in a state of fight or flight all the time concerning the news. And sometimes you just got to cut it off. And what will be will be. Like tuning into the garbage day in and day out, hour after hour. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your energy. It's going to cause you cancers in your body. It's going to cause you to be sick.
Yep.
My thing is, listen to that song. Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
Now, that is something that I could really agree with right there. I mean, I just remember while Biden was president, do you know that they were still talking about Trump almost every other day?
Every day. Every day.
Talking about
he was in news every day. Every day he was on mainstream news. Every day.
I have one person designated to be the watch guard at the gate or at the tower to see what's happening, but everybody needs to just tune it out. If you keep tuning into him, which is what they want you to do, they want your body to get sick, because the stress of it all will get you sick. It'll make your body not perform well for you. And you keep on tuning in and people are getting sick just watching this stuff. Elderly people sit and watch this news over and over and over again, and they just get more lumps that just keep growing and cancerous and all these things. You got to tune it out.
Yeah.
Programming.
Yeah. That's why they
program people.
That's right. Right. That's exactly right. That's why they call it television. Tells you what they want you to see. That's exactly it. Yeah. We don't have TVs anymore, folks. We have monitors in our homes. You can see on both sides of it. You think your TV's off sometimes? They're watching you. They're watching you. They're watching you. Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for me to get on up out of here.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was fantastic, brother. Thank
y'all so very much for coming up. And anytime you see me live and y'all want to hit the link, by all means, by any stretch of imagination, come on up. Love the conversation. It's always good to hear other folks' side of the story other than just myself, because I do a lot of talking to myself behind it. I can't believe this is happening, but one of those days that you just gotta say, you know what, and this. My main reason for coming up here again, like I said, Pure Butterflies, what I heard Auntie saying, and I was speaking to another friend of mine, and I'll say this: the lack of respect that we show our elders, you don't see that in a whole lot of other communities. Mm-hmm. And I'll speak to a community that I know of. You will not see an African man disrespecting their elders. You will not see it. You will not. Not a true African. I didn't say African American. Yeah.
My presentation and how he interacts with his mother and all that, like it's very high esteemed, high regard.
Yes, you know what I mean? It absolutely is, and the same thing for a lot of the Far Eastern countries, Japan, and they revere their elders. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to us, folks are too quick to say, you're old. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. How else did you think I got here?
I know.
You think that if we're over the age of 40, 45, 50, 55, on up to 60, 70 years old, you think it's an accident that we are still here?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what you know about the history of the United States, do you think it's an accident, especially for me growing up in Charleston, South Carolina, home to the Klan?
The sad thing is, the saying, you're going to learn today. Well, you're going to learn today in this next 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna learn. So this is what I'll say to that, and I agree with you, ABT. For the most part, yes, we do. So for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, you know who exactly I'm speaking to. If you have nothing good to say about your elders, I would suggest you go pick up a history book. The next time Sexy Red that you think is good to put our heroes, because we don't manufacture our heroes. Our heroes are born here. White America has to manufacture their heroes because they really have none. That's why they hold their criminals in such high esteem. Al Capone, Jeffrey Dahmer. The list goes on of how many movies they've made about Charles Manson, Helter Skelter. The list goes on. All these different things. But for us, we have to look at our elders and say, what did you go through in the 60s? What did you go through in the 70s? What did you go through in the 80s? I heard some dumb loose nigga saying it was easier back then for black folks. Oh yeah? Name me one black town in recent history that got burnt down by white America. Anybody? None. So with that, folks.
Well, that was the point I was trying to make on somebody's panel. I think it was on Big J's panel, actually, that the fires that are happening, like if you don't think that this was set by white racists, you are so wrong. What happened in California, and the fact that this type of white racists that have been in power and lost power and are trying to get back in power strongly have always resorted to putting people's houses on fire, putting villages on fire. This is something that it's in the history. Why is it so far-fetched? Why is what happened in California so far-fetched? It has happened here in America over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. I listen. I've been on this earth long enough, Pure. I don't put nothing past anyone.
No.
I don't. Some folks might call it conspiracy theories or whatever this or what have you. But again, at the life that I've lived in these old United States, to tell me that shit does happen, and whether believe it or not. But ABT, I might come back on a little bit later on this evening. So if you want to chop it up some more, I'm sure you got both hands on the wheel, don't you? You're out there driving around. What's going on? You all right? But yeah, I may come back on a little bit later on this evening. If not, it'll definitely be tomorrow. So if not, if you see me live, just click on the link and we'll chop it up some more. But I got to get out of here. A few things I need to do.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
I appreciate y'all coming up. All right.
All right. Peace,
brother. All right, that DDS. Appreciate you, bro. But again, there, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of y'all for hanging out there. ABT, Zahara, Shaw Willie. Who else came in here? Let's see. Bridget, Pure Butterfly, of course. Miss Mills, M. Mills, thank you so much. Just as Shaw, my right-hand person there from time to time. Reese, thank you so very much. Who else we got up off in here? Let me see. Zero, the Infinite. Thank you. Joe, my double dog. Hoorah. Simplified double dog. Femi from the chat. Thank you. A very sexy Red TV. You're doing your thing. You are a funny female, Sexy Red. You really are. You are funny. But anyway, folks, I'll try and come back on a little bit live. Lana, I see you. Appreciate you stopping through. Lana Love, appreciate it. And we'll chop it up a little bit more. Until then, y'all be safe. Watch your 3, your 6, and your 9. Say hello to someone. Might change the way they're thinking. Might change the way they're living. You never know. You walk past and don't say hello. Until later on, folks, y'all be cool. Check out the radio station, Classic R&B Jams. I got some smooth music over there. Shameless plug. CRBJ Radio. Have a good day, folks.